to this Freaky Friday edition of Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming to you today as we do every day, live from noon to 2 Eastern. We're in the downtown studios of NEWSMAX TV. We're in the Question Tequila studios. We're right behind City Hall, and apparently our mayor has returned to work, at least in some capacity, and just a little further downtown at the New York Stock Exchange. Today is a joyous Friday, and it's Flashback Friday to just a couple of weeks ago when the market went on a rip and tear. And we've been talking about this key number of 27,000, which we fell well under. We were down in the high 25s and 26, 26,900 as we speak. Donald Trump came out today and said he was going to be meeting with the vice premier of China as they're here for the trade talks, and the markets think that's good news. So the markets are feeling good on this Freaky Friday. And Bitcoin, as it's been, with the market up, Bitcoin's been down. There has been some kind of negative correlation between the two. When the markets are down, Bitcoin's up. But we do still have this overriding feeling that Bitcoin, great things are in store for Bitcoin coming soon, because everyone in Hong Kong and China is trying to get their money out of there. And the only way they can get it out under that regime is using cryptocurrency. So I think good things are ahead of us, and if they're there. And good things are ahead for you. When I bring in my co-host, managing editor, Frank Morano, joins me for a Frankie Friday.
That's right. Frankly, this is Friday.
No,
TGIF.
when you weren't here, I was saying it's a Frankless Friday.
Oh, I like it. Oh, yeah. So it's a Frank Full Friday.
It's a Frank Full Friday.
Yes, that's very good.
It's a Frankfurter Friday.
Well, happy Friday to you, TGIF.
However, out to get us some Frankfurters.
You are, however you're celebrating it. Well, we saw the job these guys did getting a cake with no name on it yesterday, and martini glasses that somehow became wine glasses. Yeah. So perhaps it's better if we pick up things ourselves.
Yesterday, he's not kidding.
So
yesterday, it's one of our crew members, our crew. They're working day and night. I don't know on what, because half the stuff breaks down, but they are working day and night. And
did you hear Jason negotiating some 7-picture film deal yesterday before the show? It's 5 minutes before the show. I'm listening to him argue over casting choices for a movie that 5 people are going to see.
So it was Kyle's birthday yesterday. For those of you who missed it, we celebrated it ably.
Maybe 6.
I did ask one of our fine new gentlemen here, Anthony, to get a cake, and he and Justin went on that mission.
Yes.
They came back with a cake.
A blank cake.
Blank.
Could have been
no
for anybody.
name on it.
We weren't sure.
And no candles. So I had to take my notes for the day and crumble them up and light them on fire for Kyle to blow something out.
At the rate that we were churning through staff.
That's what happens at the end of a Thirsty Thursday edition. But yeah, we're rolling along.
Absolutely.
It's good to have you back.
Well, it's good to be back, John. Thank you. There's a ton of breaking news out there. Just minutes ago, we heard the breaking news that an appeals court ruled that Donald Trump's accounting firm is going to turn over. He's going to have to comply with this House subpoena for 8 years worth of the president's tax returns. So this is a big blow. The D.C. Court of Appeals ruling 2-1.
You know where this is going.
Well, it's going to go probably. They could appeal to the full Court of Appeals, or they could try to appeal to the Supreme Court. Yeah. I have a feeling that's where this is going to end up.
Yep.
But
then all of a sudden, we'll find out once again if John Roberts stands with the president or if he stands with the Democrats. But we do have the majority there, and you would think that if we got to go to the Supreme Court, I don't know why they're so obsessed with his tax returns.
Well, neither do I. I mean,
this is another Wile E. Coyote.
I wish the president would have just released them during the campaign and put the issue to bed. But
fair enough.
It's absurd. But we should talk more about the Supreme Court issue a little bit later on. And I know Kevin McCullough is going to be here in just a couple of minutes. He's been following this impeachment controversy more closely than anyone. But that is not the subject that I am speaking, frankly, about. Monday is Columbus Day, observed. Now, we're going to be here. We're going to be working. We're not taking the day off unless John
We will be observing.
But we're going to be working, right?
Well, but I'm saying we'll still be observing now.
Scott Lebedo is going to be working all weekend painting an Italian flag on the wall instead of an American flag. But The reason it's particularly noteworthy, and maybe we can chat a bit more about it on Monday, is that just last week, Washington, D.C. became the latest municipality to rename Columbus Day Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, there are hundreds of municipalities all over the country that have done away with Columbus Day and renamed this holiday Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, let me be the first to say, I recognize the hardships that indigenous peoples or American Indians have had to endure over the last few centuries, and there's no reason they shouldn't have a holiday. I don't see why they would want to take someone else's holiday. Now, I recognize that if you put Christopher Columbus's 1492 record up to 21st century standards, it doesn't hold up too well. However, if you take just about anybody that was important in 1492 and apply the 2019 lens of what's appropriate, what's right and wrong to 1492 standards, they don't hold up too well either. The bottom line is this. What is potatoes, right? Before Columbus, there were no potatoes in Ireland. What's California or Florida known for? Oranges. There were no oranges in California or Florida. There was no chocolate in Switzerland. Christopher Columbus is one of only a handful of people who has ever lived that changed the course of civilization. Now, we can pretend that he didn't, but that doesn't change the fact that he did. There's absolutely no reason that we shouldn't have Columbus Day. You want to add an indigenous peoples holiday? I'm all for it. But don't take away a holiday for somebody that changed the course of Western civilization and helped bring civilization to another hemisphere. It's wrong, it's petty, it's stupid. You want to have a debate about Columbus? Fine, let's have it. Let's make Columbus Day a day where academics come out and debate whether or not he's the history's greatest monster or just some loser. But you shouldn't take away the holiday, and I hope here in New York City that we don't. I'm shocked that given the people that have been running New York City for the last 15 years that we haven't, but let's hope they don't.
It's another slight against us Italians.
I don't view it that way.
It is. I mean, that's how I view it. How do you take away a holiday?
Well, but it's not
How
Italy.
about if they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take away Martin Luther King Day. What do you think would happen?
Well,
Reverend Al Sharpton would be marching up and down Broadway like a maniac.
Yeah.
Okay? And we shouldn't take away Martin Luther King Day.
I don't know about that one.
We shouldn't take away Martin Luther King. To me, he was a great civil rights leader.
I'm not saying he was a great civil rights leader, but should he be the only person other than George Washington that has a federal holiday? Is he the most important figure in American history other than Washington to have a federal holiday? I mean, we've only had it for 35 years or so, right?
Fair enough.
Somehow America continued, and we can honor Martin Luther King, but I don't know that we need to give him the distinction of a federal holiday.
Okay.
Maybe a day of honor.
But
you're right. The reaction, if you tried to do that,
if you tried to take away Martin Luther King Day, it would be absolute and utter mayhem. And Al Sharpton would be.
He would not be pleased unless you were making it Al Sharpton Day. Then he would be okay with it.
Well, we both know that you can make any day you want with Al Sharpton if you write him a check.
But to me, John, and maybe we can hash this out a little bit more on Monday.
The guy tried to steal my watch. It's true. True. He didn't try to steal it, but he literally wanted it off my wrist.
And we can chat about this a little more on Monday, but there was Columbus Day, right? But there was no such thing as Italy. Italy wasn't a country when Columbus sailed here. So he sailed for Spain. He may have been from the province of Genoa. I don't view it as a day that only Italians should celebrate. I view it as a day that anyone that embraces Western civilization should be celebrating. Anybody that's thankful that there are tomatoes in Italy and potatoes in Ireland. I think this is a day that the whole country, the whole continent should be celebrating.
Well, I'm half Irish.
I'm aware of that.
That may not come across on television. But I'm very proud to be half Irish.
A lot of people are wondering where your drinking habit came from.
My grandmother, Bridget McNamara, came from the county of Cork. And my grandmother, Mary Elizabeth Pratt, was a very proud Irish woman. And I never thought about that before, but I'm a tomato potato.
You are, right.
You know what I mean? Or
you're
you can be
half
a tomato,
Gaelic, half garlic.
Yeah, but half Gaelic or a gimmick.
Right, I like it.
You know what I mean? A slang, if you're not Italian, you can't say it, okay? But I'm Italian, so I can say guinea.
You shouldn't.
If you mix a guinea and a mick, it's a gimmick.
I don't think.
No, I'm joking. I'm saying it's like, it's not something you want to say to an Italian person.
Well, right. I don't think it's something you should say in general.
No, other people have told me, like, the joke is someone who's half Italian, half Irish, they call it a gimmick.
One other item of breaking news that I want to bring to our viewers' attention before we offend any additional ethnic groups. So far, we're up to 5 by my count. Ambassador Sondland will testify before Congress over the State Department's objections. So this is the big thing in the Ukraine situation. We're going to get into it throughout the show. There's a lot of news coming out of Ukraine. But Ambassador Sondland was told by the State Department, we don't want you testifying. The lawyer is saying, well, thanks, but he's going to testify anyway. Right now, the ousted ambassador to Ukraine is testifying behind closed doors before Congress. I don't understand why we don't have access to those hearings. We're paying those members of Congress salary. We're paying the electricity where she's testifying. We should get to see it on TV.
Yeah, is it that top secret?
No.
Everything, the president's phone calls get leaked. I mean, just sit back and wait. Or whatever she says will be leaked within the hour.
Well, that's true.
You know? Well, at least the parts that Adam Shifty Shift wants us to hear, they'll come leaking out. It's not his committee, right?
I think it is.
This is the Intelligence Committee?
I think it is, yes.
How do you name someone the chairman of the Intelligence Committee when they have zero intelligence? It's like an oxymoron to have him be the head of the Intelligence Committee, and he showed like zero propensity to demonstrate intelligence.
I'm with you. You're not going to get somebody defending Adam Schiff.
Nationally syndicated radio host heard right here in New York City on AM 970. The Answer, Kevin McCullough, is going to join Frankie and I right after this break. You're watching Liquid Lunch. Back in a few.